The Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency is making an effort to inform the public on how to stay safe during natural disasters. A presentation was given at the Larson Senior Center last week by MEMA Coordinator Doug Forbes on how the organization works within the community to help those in need after disasters. In addition, he went over 4 phases of emergency management and emergency preparedness. DoubleACS was there to cover the event, and we spoke with them to learn more about how residents can stay safe.
As I think about emergency management, I think about the 4 phases of emergency management. They're mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Can you say them with me? Mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Very good.
Annually, September is National Emergency Awareness Month, and so we use that opportunity to bring together public officials. Doug Forbes from Massachusetts Emergency Management. We work very closely with our public safety officials in the fire and the police department here. Today, Captain Al Morant, who also I mentioned is a liaison from the fire department to the Council on Aging for our Triad program. And we work on many safety programs here. One was mentioned today, the File of Life, which is free and available at a phone call or just stopping into the senior center. Again, we work very closely with public health officials. Jackie O'Brien, the registered nurse, who is the city's public health nurse, works in tandem with us to not only provide immunization clinics, wellness clinics, we do blood pressure, cholesterol checks here, but other important programs that we need to get the information out to our elders in the community.
So today we talked to the seniors about the importance of being prepared, and not just for the seniors, everybody in the city, turning around, helping your neighbors, helping family members if they have difficulty. We also talked about volunteering, and so we have a couple of organizations in the city. We have the Bristol Norfolk Medical Reserve Corps, which encompasses 8 communities. I'm the coordinator for Attleboro, and we're constantly recruiting volunteers to help out. We try to pre-train, pre-credential them to help respond to public health emergencies as well as public health initiatives. And you can also contact somebody at the fire department about the community emergency response team, about their trainings, and again, they also help out during emergencies.
The University of Colorado predicts that we'll have 9 named storms this year and possibly 2 major storms that'll hit the U.S. coast. But we need to remember, even though we're in a low impact year, it only takes 1 storm to cause a lot of problems. So we want to be prepared. Well, today we talked about being safe in emergencies and the different phases of emergency management. It's important to be safe in emergencies. It's also important to remember that we live in one of the safest places in the whole world. But just like the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, we want to be prepared. It's important to reach out not just to the first responders who we provide some great training for, but to the general public as well. The seniors and, of course, the school children are key targets for us, and we have a program called the Disaster Dudes for the children, which they really enjoy. But we want to reach out and make sure everyone is making preparation so they're safe in time of emergency. Well, mostly I talked about the 4 phases of emergency management: mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. And under mitigation, we're trying to prevent bad things from happening in the first place, such as changing zoning so that people don't build in flood-prone areas. And if they're already in a flood-prone area, FEMA can come in many times and buy that land and turn it into a park or maybe a beach area for the kids. So those are some of the things that we can do. Also under mitigation, we do emergency planning. So we can go through a community, determine the hazards, and seek to reduce them. And then after mitigation, we think of preparedness. We want to be prepared by educating the public. Then we go to response. We encourage people to remember that when they see the emergency vehicles coming, when they hear those sirens, it's important to get out of the way as safely and as quickly as possible. It could be a family member. It could be a neighbor. It could be a friend that they're rushing to save. So that's important as well. And finally, we want to think about recovery to get people back to where they were before the disaster. And our partners are the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Small Business Administration, and all the voluntary organizations active in disaster, such as the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, the Southern Baptist, and many, many others. You know what I call those folks? A good deed looking for a place to happen. We want to reach out to every population in Massachusetts to help them to be safe in time of emergencies. And being a senior citizen myself, I think it's really important that we reach out to the seniors. Not only that, many of the seniors have time in their hands so they can educate their children and, of course, their grandchildren. I have 10 grandchildren, and I want them to be safe in emergencies as well. And by educating the seniors, we educate a whole family.